Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the MrWarrenHayes Show. This is a special edition. Today, it is Sunday morning. Hello, here, Sunday morning in the eastern seaboard of North America, and I am here this morning to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling's The New Beginning in Osaka, which happened earlier today, late last night. Whatever, depending on where you are in the world, this is how it happened. This is how it went down. The point is, look, let's not get into time zones and geography, and let's not nitpick on this kind of stuff. Let's just talk about this fantastic New Japan event, the first big show out of Wrestle Kingdom this year. Boy, I love pro wrestling. I really do. It's shows like this that I'm just like, that remind me why I dig it so damn much. And this is what we're going to be talking about this morning. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in, for joining me here live on this Sunday morning, taking some time to just get a cup of coffee, a nice little cup of tea, perhaps just a glass of OJ, or maybe you're settling in to have some lunch, which is fine too. Grab yourself a sandwich, hot bowl of... Look, I could sit here for the next 15 minutes and come up with menus for you, but that's not what I'm going to do. Instead, I'm going to thank Throwback 27 for being here in the chat. How you doing? Carlos is here as well. Mags is here too. Marco Dominguez and Tim Traver, Tim. Good to see you. Good to see everyone here today. I'm so happy that you're here watching this live on youtube.com/MrWarrenHayes, because this is where I usually record all my stuff. I record most of my stuff live. So if you ever do have the opportunity to come watch it live, please do. It's a fun time. It's a good place to hang out. And on top of that, if you're watching live right now, why don't you give the video a thumbs up? That would also be greatly appreciated. And even if you're not watching live, give it a thumbs up anyway. Or you can wait till the end of the show. That's fine as well. If you want to make sure that everything is up to your standards, which I can appreciate. Maybe you're even listening to this on your favorite podcast app, because the Mr. Warren Hayes Show is available on all podcast applications. And you can show us some love there with a review, a like, a subscribe, a follow, whatever it is you do. That's fantastic. Good morning, everyone. Geez, everyone's in a good mood on a Sunday morning. Sunday mornings are special. And on my end, I like to take it very, very easy on Sunday mornings. I just laze around a little bit and, just take advantage of not being in a rush. Usually my Sundays are very, very chill. And I appreciate you allowing me to come into your safe space this morning. However, we've got Throwback 27 who's in the chat and saying that he's at work, and that's hats off to you, because the world still has to continue. I respect everyone who does what they have to do, right? Keep the ball rolling. You got to make that money at the same time. Good, and I'm glad I'm able to slip in here. And if you want as well, leaving likes, leaving reviews, whatever, that stuff helps out a lot. If you want to show even more support, well, you can drop a super chat right here if you're watching this live in the chat, and I will read your statement, comment, question live right here. Also, you can also show some support by joining the Mr. Warren Hayes Patreon at at patreon.com/MrWarrenHayes. I've got all sorts of goodies there. I invite you to go check it out. The basic tier is $2, and you get all the goodies for $5 a month. That's nuts. What am I thinking? I'm cuckoo crazy. That's the only thing I can say. That's the only thing that I can say is that I'm nuts. I'm out of my mind. I'm enjoying some coffee too this morning. I'm on my 4th cup, I believe. I got up early to pack the whole show in, because I watched the whole thing. Let's get to it. Let's start talking about it. Let's start talking New Japan Pro Wrestling's The New Beginning in Osaka. My God, this was a fun show. This is so good. This is so so good, so good. Opening match was a 8-man tag. Nakanishi, Tenkozi, and Yuji Nagata defeating Togi Makabe, Hanma, Toa Hanare, and Taguchi. This was what it is. Nakanishi is on his farewell tour. I think commentary were saying that he has like 3 or 4 matches left. I can't quite remember. Which is kind of odd to have him go over. Look, I'm going to tell you what I was expecting here, folks. Maybe this will help set everything out. Benoit is in the chat, by the way. How's everyone? Good morning, Benoit. Here's what I was thinking. I was really thinking that that out of all these, because it's all old dudes here, right? It's all a bunch of maybe aside from Toa Hanare and Taguchi. Well, although Taguchi is up there in age as well, but none of these are really very active wrestlers or have really something to contribute down the line to New Japan. A lot of them are sunsetting their career or in the final stretch of it. I don't see the... I really thought... Okay, this is what I thought. I'm collecting my thoughts here. What I thought was going to happen was Nakanishi eating a pin. And I figured, that they would give Toa Hanare the possibility of pinning Nakanishi. And I was listening to the Voices of Wrestling podcast this week, and they had a great take on this because I just thought, look, it would make sense for them to put the young guy over a legend and have the legend, kind of endorse him. Hanare, I feel, is I think he's ready to move out of Young Lions programs. I think he's good to go. He looks great. I think he's been improving tremendously in the ring. He had a good 2019 for what he was given, right? I mean, it's not as if he was main eventing shows, but for what he was given, I think he was good, and I think it's ready for him to move on. What better way for that to happen than, start scoring some wins? And usually when you're a veteran on the way out, you start putting over the younger guys, right? Right? That's kind of the thing. I don't know. I don't see what there was, what good there was to having Nakanishi, Tenkozi, and Yuji Nagata going over here. There's nothing there, especially since after Taguchi's in an angle. Anyway, we'll get to that. But, it was what it was. Roppongi 3K defended successfully their IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship versus the Suzuki-Gun combination of Kanemaru and El Desperado. The story of this match centered around the beat-up that Show took a couple of nights ago. The Suzuki-Gun guys took out his knee. So that was one part of the story, and the other story was the heel's capacity to keep him from tagging Yo in, at least for a good part of the match. This was hard fought. It got physical. They started fighting to the outside early on. Yo and Desperado had a fun slapping and super kick exchange that ended up with Yo eating a spear. I thought that was pretty fun. The heels got at some point Roppongi 3K in dual submissions, but Show reached the bottom rope to break up the submission and avoid getting pinned. Kanemaru misses the whiskey mist. Show dumps Yo over onto the floor, like back body drops. I mean, it looked a little rough. Yeah, but dispiated. Everyone was fine. The shock arrow by Show didn't get the job done, but the package pile driver stomp combination finishing move thing did. So your boys from Roppongi 3K retained their titles. And they win on their first defense. Which is a thing for Roppongi 3K, because honestly, this is, it's kind of like Sasha Banks in WWE. She wins the titles, but she loses them on the first defense. Kind of the same thing here. So good for them for getting that monkey off their back. That's cool. That's cool stuff. And Taguchi then comes to the ring. He comes to the ring and he has a basketball and he tries to do his best. No, wait, look, Taguchi shouldn't join the Harlem Globetrotters is what I should say here. But he tried though. Good on him. He comes out and he cuts a promo. He says because basically Taguchi and Rocky, at least in the recent stories, were saying that they were both the coaches of Roppongi 3K. And he says to Rocky, we are mega coaches. Plus, you're a great wrestler. Why don't we team up to challenge these two dudes for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships? And Rocky's like, Rocky accepts. He actually shoots a basket, nothing but net, into Taguchi, who's making a basket, just with his arms like that. So, I mean, what else are you going to do with the junior tag division? It's not as if there were oodles of tag teams, not as if it was all that interesting. This is fine. I'm okay with this. Why not have a little fun with it? Oh, I want to say hello to John at JPQ from the No Particular Podcast No Particular Angle podcast. No angles are particular in this podcast. That should be the name of this podcast. For being in the chat, how you doing? As well as Culture Club Wrestling Jackson. Woo! Thank you for being here on this Sunday morning as well. So yeah, again, this was actually a pretty good match. I enjoyed the match quite a bit. Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Dave Finlay, and everyone's favorite Juice Robinson defeated the Bullet Club combination of Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, the Tokyo Pimp, and the Gorillas of Destiny in an 8-man tag match. This match happened essentially, and Tanahashi and Ibushi want to get a shot at the tag team titles, which are now held by Gorillas of Destiny. But they argued with FinJuice at the end because FinJuice feel that they should be having a rematch, and it's so hard to get interested in the New Japan Tag Team division. It really, really is. It's really, really difficult to just get into it. Look, I've said this. If I say this once, I'll say it a million times. They should do away with the weight class division. Make it an open weight title, and right then and there, you have a little more flexibility to create tag team opportunities for other tag teams. Really, because there are no teams in the junior division. There are no teams in the heavyweight division. So if you put 0 and 0 together, it's still 0 is probably what you'll tell me. But nonetheless, no, yeah, I'm exaggerating when I say there's none, but there's no substance to it. It's really, really difficult to get excited, and I'm having difficulty getting excited about this situation here. I mean, the whole match in and about itself, really, it didn't get me all that hyped. Kota Ibushi, Tanahashi are bloody stars. That's fine, but you end up with Gorillas of Destiny, who are fine. Don't get me wrong. And the rest of the Bullet Club C team. And then Dave Finlay and Juice Robinson. It's hard to get excited about any of this. And honestly, look, when FinJuice won the titles at Wrestle Kingdom, I was like, well, maybe they're going to try something out here. Maybe New Japan is going to move into something a little more seriously with their tag team division. And, chances are, cross our fingers, we'll end up with something that might be a lot of fun. But then Gorillas of Destiny win the titles back like a month, not even a month removed, or about a month removed from Wrestle Kingdom. So I'm like, what's the point? What's the point? I don't know. There's a lot of things that New Japan does well. Their tag team division isn't one of them. And I saw some people, wondering why the hell are Kota Ibushi and Hiroshi Tanahashi involved in a tag team situation. And contrary to what a lot of people believe, I don't think it's something meant to want to elevate the division. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just to give them something to do. And I think this is okay. Tanahashi and Ibushi, you can flip the switch on these guys. You can turn them on or off. You can make them hot or cold whenever you want and without having to build back. All you have to do is put either of these guys in a high-profile match, and it's fine. They got all their heat back. Everything's okay. I don't think putting them into this situation is going to hurt them in any way, but I don't think it's going to help anything else in the meantime, unless they give them a real meaningful reign as champions. But then for the reign to be meaningful, they'll have to defeat meaningful tag teams, which brings us back to the original point. There's no one. There's no one. Anyway, they really should start by, when I say they, I mean New Japan. They should start by just merging the tag weight classes together. That would be a good start. Kazuchika Okada and William Ospreay defeated Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. They went to the floor very quickly on this match. Jr. and Ospreay had this fantastic sequence early on where they're switching out in and out of octopus holds and guillotines and stormbreaker attempts. I mean, European clutches and pinfall attempts. Great sequence they had there. Taichi as well got a great sequence of really hard kicks and a big Saito suplex as well. Great double team sequence towards the end, where Ospreay and Okada was in Osaka, but Osaka was not wrestling. That means you'd have 11,000 people in the ring. That just couldn't work. Okay. But there still was this great double team sequence by Ospreay and Okada. Okada wriggles out of a last ride that Taichi was trying to hit. Taichi then eats a hook kick by Ospreay, a drop kick by Okada, and then the Os cutter followed. And then Ospreay just got back up and hit a running moonsault to the outside onto Zack Sabre Jr. to make sure that the Rainmaker would hit, and Taichi would get pinned by the Rainmaker here. So let's move on from Taichi. We're good now. We're fine. I tweeted out as I was watching this morning. I tweeted out, everyone always talks about how TNA mishandled Osaka. Why am I saying Osaka? That's not his name, Warren. How TNA was mishandled Okada when he was there a couple of years ago, and New Japan is still sore about it, and everyone keeps talking about that. But about a week ago, New Japan booked Taichi to go 30 minutes with Okada. Now, I'm not in the Taichi hater group. I'm not. They invited me into their Discord, and I kicked myself out. There's no Taichi hater Discord. Well, there probably is, quite honestly, but I've never been invited to one. And please don't invite me either. Taichi's okay. He's fine. And he fulfills the role that he has to fulfill very well, which is a mid-card guy. That's what he is. And when it's time for him to pull out a good match, he'll put out a good match. When he doesn't want to put the effort in, it shows. It's fine. He is what he is. Kazuchika Okada is positioned as one of the all-time New Japan greats, one of their most legendary champions, longest reigns, blah, blah, blah. Why in the blue hell would you put mid-card Taichi, eternal mid-card guy Taichi, in the ring to go 30 minutes with one of your unabashed legends? Because what do you have to gain from Taichi having a 30-minute competitive match with Kazuchika Okada moving forward? The guy is an internal mid-carder. Just leave him there. And I don't think it makes Okada look all that great either. This isn't, sure, he lost the championships at Wrestle Kingdom, but he's still the Rainmaker. This isn't confused, broken Kazuchika Okada with the red hair and the balloons from 2 years ago at the G1, where he's losing matches and he's trying to find his footing because he lost his confidence, he lost his mojo. I wish WWE would lose its mojo, if you know what I'm talking about. He's still the Rainmaker. He's still on top of the world. Why would you have him go 30 minutes with Taichi? And then it makes me even push the thought pattern a little further, where he was having these long matches with Sanada last year. How does that make Sanada look? Because Sanada is being positioned as a top guy. We're getting there. He had 4 matches with Okada last year, and they were good to great. There wasn't a bad one out of them. And then we get to this point here where he's like, well, Okada's having the same types of matches with bloody Taichi. The thing is that Osada, Jesus Christ, this morning, Warren, Sanada has all this. Sanada still has a lot to give. He's still a young guy. He still has many, many years ahead of him. Taichi is he 40? Or is he about to hit 40? He's going to hit 40 this year. I mean, you know. Anyway, that off on a tangent. This match was okay. This match was fine. It was fine. Not too long, didn't overstay its welcome, did what it had to do. See, they booked Okada better in this match than they did in his singles match with Taichi. Because he came in and he just beat him up, and there's nothing Taichi could have done. He done do about it. What can you do about it? Tony Wiegand, welcome to the chat. Tony, I told you before, you have to tell me how to pronounce your last name. You have to spell it out for me phonetically in the chat, because I don't know if it's Wiegand, why? Because I feel stupid every time. That being said, I'm really happy you're here. Now things get cooking. Now things are starting to get cooking. Jay White defeated Sanada in a singles match. There were some fun exchanges at first until Gedo trips up Sanada, and White then gets in control. This was, ultimately this was another match that played to where the heel is basically determining the pace of the match, and that's what this is exactly how the match is supposed to, well, at least how old school matches were built, right? Where the heel is basically calling all the shots and he's determining the pacing of the match and so on and so forth. This is why, once again, Jay White is the best pure heel in the business of professional wrestling, because you play his match, you wrestle his match. And he keeps the pacing here, and he's always thinking. This is the other thing about Jay White, is that he's always thinking. Like, at some point, he rolls away from a standing moonsault that Sanada's about to hit, and he just lies on the ground there, and he does a too sweet for the crowd, and he's got this huge grin on his face, just like he kicked out of a leg drop of doom. But that's fantastic. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. He catches Sanada off a second rope turnbuckle flip with the DDT. Sanada rolls out of a pinning predicament and into the Paradise Lock, which I thought was really fun. Jay White, the way he was selling it as well. A lot of people just stay stuck in the ball when they get locked into a Paradise Lock. But Jay White was trying to struggle out of it. And even when Sanada hit the drop kick to break it up, he was like, he played at his wrists, I liked it. I liked that little, I like that little thing there, that little cell of his. The pescado from Sanada, his excellent pescado per usual, to the outside, got the audience really, really excited. White avoids the skull end with a thumb to the eyes, followed by a brain buster and a Kiwi crusher, but it can't get the job done. Sanada hits a rope-hung snap suplex and a big old side suplex as well. He got Jay White all the way to the top on that one. That was really good stuff. I thought the spot where White was holding on to Marty Asami and Gato was doing stuff. I thought that was a little too long. It was a little too unbelievable. Thank you very much, Nick Wolf, for the super chat. I'll answer your question in a bit, but thank you very much. Yeah, I thought that was a little weird, you know, for I thought it was a little strange for I thought it was a little long, because basically the idea was that White was holding on to Marty Asami, thinking that Gato was doing nasty shit to Sonata, but it was the other way around. I thought it was a little too long in the tooth. It could have been shortened a bit. It was there's only to us. You can only suspend your disbelief to a certain point. Sonata hits the full-on skull end, but Jay White avoids the Muda moonsault that followed. There's a great series of near falls. Sonata almost lands on top of his head with a messy skull end off the second turnbuckle. They managed not to murder each other on that one. But then White hits a great sleeper suplex, and the Blade Runner, to get the pin, puts your boy Sonata away. I think it's the right call. And, you know, maybe some of you right now are saying, you're such a Jay White mark. But I think it is the right call. I think, you know, I've said this a couple of times. I feel like New Japan is very, very light on heels, especially towards the top. You have a lot of baby faces. You have, you know, Naito right now, even though commentary tonight was saying, oh, he's a bit of a rudo. Yeah, but no, he's too over. He's too popular. You have Naito at the top. You have Okada. You have Tanahashi. You have Ibushi. Like, your top guys in the company are all really, really baby faces. Then you have Jay White. They're doing a damn good job building Kenta. But you know, Jay White winning was the best thing to do moving forward. I think Sonata is still in a position where he's trying to break that ceiling, trying to get into the tippy-top main event situation. That was the story they were trying to tell with Okada last year. And I'm okay with them moving forward with the story again this year. Jay White is over that ceiling. So Sonata's not there yet. He can't consistently put Okada away. He can't put Okada away in the big match. He can't put Jay White away. This is fine. This is perfect storytelling. It's typical New Japan storytelling when you think about it, where he's basically going to keep on struggling, learning from his mistakes, and eventually he will explode through that ceiling and be considered one of the top guys. So losing to Jay White is fine. I think, since we're moving into the New Japan Cup soon, I think it's a good idea to have your top heel be in a top winning position. I can dig it. Nick Wolf asked with his super chat again. Thank you again. Again, thank you again. That's a lot of agains. How long till Triple H gets Jay White in NXT? Right now, I don't see why Jay White would want to go anywhere. As of yet. I really don't. He's a top guy. How old is he? 27, 28, something like that? That dude has so many good years ahead of him. He is a top guy in New Japan. He is their number one heel. This is a guy who is, despite the losses and everything, he's protected. They take good damn care of him. And he's probably making a good amount of bank doing what he does as well. And look at the amount of dates that he works as opposed to what he'd do if he went over into WWE. And look at the kinds of matches. The offense that he gets in. You should check out our boys over at PW Musings, who I had I interviewed a couple of weeks ago on the MrWarrenHayes show. They do statistics, right? They do stats on like blow by blow moves, just to really have a great breakdown of what happens in a match. Jay White doesn't hit all that much offense. He's in control a lot, but he plays the pure heel. I don't know how well this pure heel persona would translate into WWE at this stage. I don't know. I think it'll probably take a while because honestly, he's on top of the world right now. I don't know why that would change. We'll see the trajectory of things that'll happen in 2, 3, maybe even 5 years. Because honestly, you never know. You never know. Would you have guessed a couple of years ago that let's say you're in 2010, would you have believed that Shinsuke Nakamura would have ended up in WWE? Probably not. But we'll see what happens. Hiromu Takahashi defended his IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, defended it successfully, mind you, against challenger Ryu Lee. Excuse me, boys and girls, this was the match of the night. Christ, the beginning with the Germans and the lariats straight off the bat. And then the chop fest. For like 3 minutes straight. It was just open hand chops to each other. You know that two guys. RJ, how you doing, by the way? Welcome to the chat. Can you believe, just to start off, these two guys just want to hurt each other, and they're just slapping each other with open hand strikes. That first sequence they did, the initial one, where they were just machine gunning each other, lasted a full, uninterrupted 36 seconds. I went back and stopwatched it. That was nuts. But it really did set the tone. These guys just wanted to hurt each other. That's all they wanted. They wanted the other guy to fall to the other guy. Lee jumps out of a Hurricane Rana, which was really cool, but he eats a chop again. And then finally, it's Takahashi finally who gets knocked down. Lee gets back in control. There's a running Hurricane Rana from the apron to the floor, done by Ryu Lee. And boy, oh boy, did Hiromu fly. My God. Lee then picks up Takahashi, sits him up on the barricade, gets back into the ring, and then hits the craziest suicide dive. I saw someone referred to a bullet. No, this was warp drive. It just came in so fast, so quickly, and my God, it looked brutal. Just flies onto Hiromu, and they flip over the barricade and just fly over commentary table. That was insane. Takahashi hits a sunset bomb from the apron to the floor. He goes for the time bomb back in the ring, but Lee reverses, tries to go for the Phoenix Plex. But Hiromu was able to avoid it, and the entire audience freaked out. Did you notice? If you watched it, everyone just like, no! That move is danger. It's poisoned. It's fantastic. Just the thought of the move, everyone was like, no. That was crazy. Takahashi, and here's the thing. Here's the other thing. They're on the turnbuckle, right? And Hiromu's on the top, is on the top, and not Hiromu, Lee's on the top, and Hiromu is in the Del Rio spot position. You know which one I'm talking about. You've watched my show before, the one where, popularized by Alberto Del Rio, who's probably not the first one to do it, but I'm always going to refer to it as the Del Rio spot, where you have someone on the top on the top turnbuckle. The opponent is hanging off the second turnbuckle, hanging on to the ropes so that their chest is exposed, and then the top rope guy stomps through the chest, which is the stupidest goddamn move in all of history, because why would you be hanging there waiting to be stomped on the chest? Well, listen to this. Your boy, your hero, the greatest wrestler, the most brilliantly smart wrestler in the world today, Hiromu Takahashi, instead of staying there to wait to get stomped on the chest, you know what he did? He let go of the ropes. So he became parallel with the turnbuckle post, and Hiromu and Lee just missed his spot. Hiromu Takahashi is unquestionably the smartest wrestler on God's green flat earth. It is without question at this point. Now, they ended up doing it nonetheless with a little bit outside, like off the apron. It looked brutal. Like, ultimately what they ended up doing was brutal. But what I liked about it is that they fought on the top turnbuckle and they had some back and forth. So it wasn't just like, set up the guy, climb up top. They worked for it to work. So that I can appreciate. But by God, I hate the Del Rio spot. Hiromu Takahashi, another reason to love the guy, to absolutely love the guy. Lee gets overhead thrown off the apron to the floor. Both guys are on the apron and he just runs to Hiromu and Hiromu's like, just body flips him over to the floor. It was fantastic. He hits the Hiromu bomb to the floor. Back in the ring, they battled with some German suplexes, some kicks, some strikes. Lee hit a bastard driver on Hiromu, and by God, I hated the way Takahashi landed on his neck. Of course we're all going to be sensitive to that, kind of like when Daniel Bryan returned and then was like, oh no, his neck. This is all how we're going to be now moving forward, right? There's a last ride that's reversed into a Canadian destroyer, excuse me, by Hiromu, and it was a nice one because he was all the way up high. That was a good one. Lee cracks a hell of a V-trigger across Hiromu's face. Lee kicks out of the time bomb, but not the second one. By God, this was a good match. This was so much fun. This is your junior heavyweight feud that we all want. This is it. It's so damn good. And these guys keep trying stuff out every time they fight each other. It's never the same thing. Hiromu winning makes sense. I could have seen an angle where Lee could have won, especially using a move like I thought the bastard driver was maybe going to end the match and then play off an angle where he injured his neck again, maybe. I don't know. But look, they have room to do that kind of stuff moving forward. Obviously, they want to keep the Phoenix Plex away from Hiromu for now so that when it does hit, like it's the end kind of thing. I liked it. I like this. Look, this match of the night, one of the best matches, to me, a match of the year contender. This is fantastic stuff. If you only have one match to watch from this card, this is it right here. It was fantastic stuff. I'm all about this moving forward. Jon Moxley successfully defended his IWGP United States Championship against Minoru Suzuki. If you have two matches that you should watch, that you say, I only have time to watch two matches from this card, this is your second one right here. There's no question about it. This match was everything I had hoped for between Moxley and Suzuki. This was so much fun. The match, of course, Moxley does his Shield entrance where he comes in through the audience, but he doesn't go to the ring. He goes to the top of the ramp, he grabs some chairs, and he goes to the top of the ramp, and he's like, come on. He wants to start the match on the ramp. Of course, what does Suzuki do? He says, all right, you son of a bitch, I'm coming. And he grabs the chair of his own, and right then and there, you know from that point on, we are in for a fun time, and by God, did we have a fun time. They start swinging the chairs at each other. Mox tears the guardrail off and starts just slamming it onto Suzuki. Suzuki tosses Moxley into the audience and does the same thing with the guardrail, and there's people around. My God. They go all strong style on each other, both mocking each other. You know, Suzuki does the shoulder roll. Moxley does it, the tongue thing. They brawl for a while on the floor. They do some submission moves. Mox whips himself into the barricade at some point to hit a sliding clothesline, just like he'd throw himself into the ropes, right, to come in and deliver a shoulder. That was hilarious. Mox gets a table. Suzuki goes to get a chair from English commentary, which was great because Kevin Kelly, he rampages over, right? Suzuki doesn't walk. He doesn't stroll. He rampages. He goes to commentary to grab the chair, and Kevin Kelly's like, "We're dead. We're dead." I popped. That was fantastic. He grabs the chair, puts Moxley's arm through one of the folding chairs, uses another one to smash it, and that would become one of Suzuki's focus points. He crushes the arm. Suzuki arm bars Moxley on the apron, the arm that he just injured, but then Moxley picks him up, deadlifts him, and power bombs him through the table. And Suzuki is smiling. He's laughing. Suzuki, this entire match, was just giddy with everything that was going on. Suzuki and Mox bash themselves over the head with pieces of the table. You know, they're like this. Suzuki busts himself open doing it. They go back to some strong style stuff in the ring. And Chad, feel free to confirm. I don't know if you guys understood here, but at this point when they're trading strikes with each other, it seemed to me that every time Suzuki struck, he'd say, "Eat shit." Right? Did I hear that right? I think I did. Suzuki puts Mox to sleep, but Mox kicks out of it because, of course, Mox he palms Moxley right across the face quite a few times. Mox hits a flying knee, but Suzuki responds back with a drop kick. Mox hits the short Death Rider. Minoru kicks out of it. And Moxley says, "I'm going to finish this MFer." And he kisses Suzuki on the head. Red Shoes takes a bump. Suzuki no-sells a chair shot to El Cabachon to the head. My God. That was great. I mean, this is where we are in 2020, where we see a chair shot to the head and we start freaking out. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I much prefer that we're like, "Oh, he took a chair shot to the head," instead of, "Oh, look, a chair shot to the head." I much prefer this type of situation. Suzuki eats another short Death Rider onto a chair, but Red Shoes is still dead at this point, and they have another intense exchange. But it turns out with Mox just finally hitting the high angle Death Rider for the win. Whoo! Honestly, I don't know what you could have wanted more out of this match. If anything more, I think evisceration. Flaying. Live flaying on television. This was fantastic. This was really, really good. A fantastic hard match. Exactly what you would have imagined. A Moxley Suzuki match. Both guys just enjoying beating each other up and getting beat up. I loved it so much. It's a great, great match. And after the match, the future Prime Minister of Great Britain, Zack Sabre Jr., attacks Jon Moxley. And I'm like, good old noodle arm Zack has a death wish. Then he runs in, grabs the strap, the US strap, and he's like, he holds it above his head. I mean, good for him. I mean, kid's got guts. But I dig the idea. Don't get me wrong. It's just, this was not the, you know what? This isn't the feud that we expected, but I think it's a feud we want. If only for the promos. My God, Zack is going to have a field day. And I am completely okay with Zack Sabre Jr. being the champion, being the world champion, the emperor of both the empire and the colonies as well. Oh, that was fantastic. Main event time. Tetsuya Naito successfully defended both his belts against Kenta. Say what you want. I mean, literally say what you want. But Kenta, New Japan has done a very, very, very good job hanging on to Kenta and making him something special. Putting him up there as a main event tip-top heel. It didn't take much. It took the Shibata turn last year, which was the kickoff point, and then interrupting Naito's celebration at Wrestle Kingdom. Are you kidding me? That's exactly what needed to happen. My God, that was good stuff. And he steps into the ring with Naito, and you buy this. You buy it. You're not like, maybe. Again, I don't want to give the impression that I don't have any original ideas, but I was listening to the Voices of Wrestling podcast earlier this week, and I actually agree with I agree with a lot of stuff they say, but I especially agree, I should say, with this. If this match had been for anything other than the double belts, than the two belts, if it had been for one of the straps, I feel we could have been in a position where Kenta winning would have seemed a little more probable. Maybe not 100%. Yes, he's going to win the title. But just the fact that it was Naito's first defense with both belts being on the line, it took away from the unpredictability of the situation. However, moving forward, Kenta looked fantastic here, didn't take anything away from him, and they've managed to create a top-level heel, another top-level heel. And I love that. Kenta comes out with all of Bullet Club, or at least all of Bullet Club who are there. It was I didn't see El Fantasmo or Bone Soldier, they weren't around. But yeah, there was that happened. Oh, thank you, Nick Wolf, for another super chat. Let's just pop in here. He says Sabre loses the Rev Pro title to Will Ospreay, and Sabre beats Moxley to avenge Murder Grandpa. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I do think that Zack Sabre Jr. is going to drop the title to Will Ospreay. Ospreay had a promo this week, or was it the week before? No, I think it was this week, where he said, where they're setting up the Rev Pro match for the championship. And he said, I've been working for this company for 7 years and I've never held the title. Yeah, I think it's a given. And it was a great promo too. It was a fantastic promo by Will Ospreay. So that was really good. And we've been talking about Suzuki-gun becoming Sabre-gun for 2 to 3 years now, I think. Or at least we're heading into 2 years easily. Maybe this will happen, but Moxley losing to Junior, I mean, that would look. If that were to happen, that means that New Japan is ready to bank on Zack Sabre Jr. big time, because whoever gets the rub for beating Moxley for the title is going to be a big deal. We'll see what happens. But thank you for the super chat, Nick. So all of Bullet Club is there. Of course, Naito comes out alone. There's some posturing at first from everyone, and Tama Tonga shoves Red Shoes down, and Red Shoes tosses the Bullet Club, and I'm like, why did this happen? There was no point. And I know a lot of people are going to hate this. A lot of people are going to hate the shenanigans that happened in this match. Honestly, I don't. It doesn't really bother me, because it is the Bullet Club MO at this point. So it really doesn't bug me all that much, but I know a lot of people like their puroresu. They like their Japanese pro wrestling to be devoid of things that may remind them of North American style booking. So I know there's a couple of things that probably annoyed a lot of people in this match, but I just thought it was a waste of time. I felt it didn't add anything. It just took a lot away. But anyway, when the match starts, and here's the thing. Again, if you are a regular listener to the Mr. Warren Hayes show, you know that I like myself a good old stall. And my God, we got ourselves a main event level stall tonight from your boy Kenta. This was Larry Zbyszko 7-minute stall level of stalling. This was so fantastic. I loved it so damn much. And I know it doesn't make sense to love a stall because you know what? A stall can either add or remove from a match, right? And most of the time, I would argue that it does remove because people don't know how to stall properly. Kevin Owens is a fantastic staller, and tonight I have discovered Kenta as a main event player as far as stalls go. He's even reacting to the audience who are chanting at him. My God. And I love how Naito was like, hey, whenever you're ready, pal. You know, he's like, we'll go on your time. I'm in no rush. Which of course is completely a Naito character. So this was really, really good. And my God, he's such a good troll. He is such a good troll on social media, to the audience, to his opponent. God, he's good. He's so good. He taunts Naito to hit him at some point, but instead, as Naito comes to deliver the blow, he swings around and hits a DDT. Naito fights back with the combination cabron. Naito leg sweeps Kenta into a neck breaker off the apron, which was nice and nasty. However, Naito eats the Dream Killer, the Hangman DDT that Kenta does, hanging from the barricade to the floor. So that was a good bump right there. They fight back into the ring. Naito hits a pop-up spine buster. Naito beats Kenta down, who fights back and slides into a crossface, and a nice snug crossface. Had the arm locked in. Like, there's probably a name for that move, and I just don't know what it is, but had the Naito's arm really tucked away nicely. It was good. It looked great. Kenta hits a German suplex and a great running kick. Super Hurricane Rana by Naito, followed by Gloria. Can't get the job done, but there's a ref bump, so of course, you know what happens. Jay White comes. Now, I gotta tell you guys, I was a little surprised at this. Jay White making a run-in. He's the leader, right? He's the leader of Bullet Club. Instead of sending Tongaloa or Chase Owens, no, they send the big guy. I thought that was interesting, and I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Is this like a full endorsement from Jay White to Kenta? Like, if you were to win tonight, I'd be okay with that? It's an interesting nugget here. I'm just going to throw into the ether and let you think about it. When Jay White comes in, he hits a sleeper suplex onto Naito. But then Bushi runs in to make the save, which is something you don't see every day. And he tries to hit the mist on Jay White, but Jay White, he's too smart, man. He avoids the mist, and Bushi eats a Blade Runner, but out comes Hiromu Takahashi to super kick the beard off of Jay White. And he drags him out into the audience to make sure he doesn't return. Destino is avoided by Kenta, and a discus lariat takes Naito down. The GTS is countered with a net breaker, and there's an exposed turnbuckle during this match, which I forgot to mention, but it did happen a little earlier during the match where Kenta removed one of the pads, and Naito gets hit head first onto the exposed top turnbuckle, and he opens up. He opens up. The crimson mask dribbles down his face. Boy, did he bleed. Kenta then, probably just seeing the blood, I don't know how planned this was, but Kenta, being the pro that he is, sees the blood trickling down his face. He starts laying in some rights, striking the shit out of Naito. That was fantastic. The GTS is reversed into a destroyer, and Destino connects for the win, though. So you're battered and bruised bloodied Tetsuya Naito successfully defends his double belt championship. That was so good. The blood added a lot. This was a not good, strong main event. And I already saw people saying, well, it was okay, it was fine. No, it was actually really, really strong. I think the problem was that we had two exceptional matches beforehand. I think a lot of people might have been gassed a little bit, or you have your expectations be brought up so high. Maybe it didn't quite deliver on the same levels as Mox and Minoru or Lee and Hiromu. Maybe it wasn't up on that level, but this was a great main event. It was really, really good as well. Fantastic stuff. Naito gets the mic at the end, and his face, his face has no more flesh color. He's just covered in blood. It literally is the Crimson Mask at this point. And he says that his next challenger, which is going to be at the anniversary event, his next challenger should be the junior heavyweight champion, Hiromu Takahashi, which gets a big reaction from the crowd. He calls Hiromu out, who comes and officially challenges him, the heavyweight champion versus the junior heavyweight champion. That's what we're getting, and it's a first time ever too. On top of that, I like the promo. I like how Hiromu referenced the fact that, you took me under your wing, Naito. You told me to go to Mexico for my excursion, and so on and so forth. This is going to, this is a money match. LIJ dudes in a respect match fighting each other. You kidding me? This is a match for fans. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. This is really, really, I can dig this. I really got behind this. They do the fist bump at the end, the LIJ fist bump, just to show respect. Of course, they're still teammates. They're cool members. Man, at some point though, just for pure fan service, and now it's the Naito fan who's talking right here, they have to give us a moment where we're going to get the LIJ fist bump with Naito with both belts, Hiromu with the junior heavyweight belt, and Shingo with the Never title, because Shingo won the title about a week ago. And by the way, a great match. Yeah. That's what we need to have, that moment with Sonata and Evil and Bushi. We haven't got it yet. And there's 3 champions within LIJ, fan favorite stable. Come on, man, make that happen, Gato. What the hell are you doing? It's this, it really is the stable outside of Bullet Club that shows the more unified front than any of the others. Just saying. Hey, this was a really good card. My God, when professional wrestling is good, it is great. I mean, the undercard was decent. Don't get me wrong. Everything just worked. Everything just clicked. It was a fun time. You should definitely check it out if you haven't had the chance. And if you're limited in your time, the Junior Heavyweight Championship match, the U.S. Championship match are your 2 go-tos here. They're fantastic. Hey, we got some announcements as well. We have some announcements as well. New Japan is heading back to television on a side Friday nights, 8 p.m. their time, of course. That's good news for New Japan. That's a big deal, getting their TV deal back. I don't know how that's going to impact New Japan World moving forward. This is what I'm curious about, but we'll see how things work out. And New Japan coming back to Madison Square Garden in August for a New Japan show. No mentions of it being co-promoted. I think it's a straightforward New Japan show. Now we're going to have to sit through months of people saying it's not going to sell out. Or if it does sell out, oh, it's sold out, but how many comps? My God, as excited I am for this show, and I really do hope it does well. There's just going to be so many people are going to be like, oh, yeah, but they didn't sell out. Or what? That's one part of the discussion I could do away with. I'm looking forward to see what happens here, but those are that's big news for New Japan. I love New Japan. I love wrestling. I just want wrestling to do well. I want wrestling to do well across the board because as fans, we deserve as much choice as possible. So if everyone is successful, everyone puts on good shows, there's something for everyone. That's all that matters, really. But yeah, I kind of want New Japan to succeed, particularly if just between you and me. There you have it, folks. We're going to wrap this one up here this evening or this morning. I'm used to doing it at night. It's not night. It's like 12:30 p.m. But thank you all, and thank you everyone for joining us live here this morning. It was a good chat again today. If you're watching us on your own time or listening to this on your podcast app, thank you so very much once again. I will be back Wednesday on Fightful for the Wednesday Night Wars podcast, and 9 p.m. on Thursday. Why did I forget? It's always on Thursday. 9 p.m. on Thursday for another edition of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show. Buy my new t-shirt. It's a good match, you guys, over at tinyurl.com/Warren Shop. And otherwise, check out my other stuff over on patreon.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. Guys and gals, thank you all so much for turning out. And I'll see you next time. How about that?